What up, everybody? It is the Suns from the palatial Studio B at the PHNX offices. I am your host, Greg Esposito. Obviously not Lindsay, as I'm sure you're all disappointed, but I am here with a very special guest. It is Aaron Edwards of Crooked Media. You know him from All Caps NBA. Aaron, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm glad to finally be on here. I've been watching for a long time, so this is nice.
Yeah, I saw you on Instagram rocking our shirts, and in one of the All Caps NBA, I'm like, I got to get to know this guy because he's got good taste. And you're funny on Twitter. So there was all the things I needed to know. Glad to have you in here. We've got plenty to talk about, but first want to remind you that we are brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's #1 sportsbook app. Use that code PHNX when you sign up and go put some money on KD coming to the Valley. Aaron, I'm going to start off by giving you the floor. I want to know, what are your thoughts on the Kevin Durant drama that's going on with the Phoenix Suns?
I've said this a couple of times, but can you believe this is us? Like,
No.
This happens to other people. Like, this doesn't happen to us. Like, we did 10 years of, like, the Morris twins drama, but, like, this is different than that. Like, it seems really wild that this is us. Like, this was something, like, that the Lakers deal with, or, like, Miami deals with, or like Chicago, anybody but us. So it's all just bizarre that it's us doing this.
Aaron, I hate to tell you this, but it still could be us. Crushing disappointment still is a possibility in all this. Hold on a second, though. I got to ask you, how did you become a Suns fan? What made you a Suns fan, and what made you want to actually spend time talking about this team?
Well, I moved here from Indiana, and I moved here in the middle of like the Bulls dynasty. So like my family's all Bulls fans. And I don't know, I just got here and Kevin Johnson read to me in second grade and it was over after that. Like, I was like, I guess I'm a Suns fan. Like, Kevin Johnson's reading the clownfish to me like in second grade. So I guess I'm Team Suns.
I like that. My wife is a Bulls fan, so I understand your plight about the family. But looking at the Kevin Durant situation, we've heard all sorts of things when it comes to this. Do you actually think it gets done with him coming to Phoenix? And what are you willing to offer? We've talked a lot about this on the show, but I'm interested in a perspective other than Gerald and Lindsay's, which I've heard for a week and a half now.
I do think it'll happen. Like, even as a Suns fan, like being this sure of something like this, like it feels like a disaster. But like I do think it's gonna happen, and that's what the crazy part is. What I'm willing to give up, like the more, like at the beginning when it was first announced it was for the Suns, I was pretty bad. Like I was like, get rid of everybody, keep booking CP3. But now that like I've sat in it a little bit and we've like heard the offers and stuff, like I kind of I want to see if we can lowball them because KD obviously wants to come here. And if we can keep Bridges, it's a win for me. Like any scenario where we keep Bridges, that's a win.
Yeah, I agree there. I am still of the thought if it comes down to having to give up McHale, if you can keep Cam, I do it in the end. But if you can find a way to keep McHale and all this and bring in KD, I think you're a little closer to that championship than if you give him up.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are more comfortable with the McHale thing now, but I think like 2 weeks ago we were like hurting, but I think the more we've said it out loud, because that was the thing, we all tried not to say it out loud for the longest time, but we're like, we don't have to bring up McHale, even though it's KD. Like, we can silently just sit and not say Mikal Bridges' name. And now we know we kind of have to bring the name up.
It's a lot easier if you don't look at KD's age. If you just go Kevin Durant and then you leave out the 34-year-old Kevin Durant, it's a lot easier to go, yeah, give up Mikal Bridges for that. Oh, we do have new news on the subject. It's been fairly quiet, but Chris B. Haynes of Yahoo Sports yesterday dropped this little nugget on us.
I will say this about Kevin Durant. Since he requested a trade, there's been numerous stars that I've spoken to, numerous stars that have been trying to get in touch with him to pick his brain to see if he would consider other avenues. Just want to get a sense of what he's thinking.
Radio silent.
KD is going dark. He's not talking to anybody, not answering anybody's phone calls, not responding to texts. KD has gone dark. The only time you see him get out into the sunlight is when he responds on Twitter, and he's not saying anything much on there aside from probably going at a fan or something like that. But yeah, he's going dark. So he's I guess he's hoping this process plays out the way he wants to. But yeah, he's pretty much not speaking with anybody right now aside from his inner circle.
All right. Did KD just drop his phone in the toilet, or is there something to read into why he's gone dark on guys reaching out to him?
I think KD always knows where his phone is at all times. But I don't know. I think he's kind of said everything that needed to be said to Joe Tsai and like everybody. I don't think that he needs to say anymore. I think it's just a waiting game, and everybody's trying to see who breaks first. But I really don't think it's like that big of a deal. It's just KD being KD.
No, what I took it as is he said, I want the Suns. Maybe he said I'd be okay with Miami, depending on the report you've heard. But we did hear yesterday as well that he's been working out with Devin Booker in LA.
Yeah.
So we know he's at least talking to one guy that has a vested interest in all this still in Devin Booker. So I think this nugget was kind of dropped as the Nets may think they have leverage, but I'm Kevin freaking Durant. I have the leverage in this situation, and I will make that very clear if I need to.
Yeah, I just don't think in any scenario where a superstar like him doesn't have the leverage. Like, I think Kyrie lost a lot of leverage, but I think KD, he played the game, he went on the floor and actually played, and he gave them everything. So I don't really know what Joe Tsai think he's going to do. Like, KD's asked out. You can't really just have this guy stick around anymore, and you can't lowball or try to get a million picks for a dude that everyone knows wants to leave.
I'm of the belief, I don't think it's Joe Tsai, right? I think he's fine with moving on. We've heard those reports. I think this is Sean Marks fighting for his life as an NBA GM, and in particular in Brooklyn. Makes the horrible trade with Houston for James Harden. Is scrambling and having to dump him. Kyrie's a problem last year. Now KD's asking out. I feel like he's looking at this and going, the only way I save face is to get a high caliber player and a lot of picks and go, look, we're still competing and we fixed the future. We screwed up when we got James Harden. And I think everybody knows it's a bluff. Like it's a bad poker hand that he's got, yet he's trying to act like he's got the straight flush.
Yeah, I think since it was a wash with the Sixers trade, I think he just feels like he needs a win. Like, I think him getting Seth Curry in that trade kind of put Brooklyn over the edge for me. I kind of thought they won the trade. But I think, like, now that it's showing, like, its colors and that nobody really won that trade, I think he's just trying to get a win. And I just don't think it's going to come from any team for KD right now.
No, I don't see it either. What's your prediction? We heard yesterday in some reports that, this could last 2 or 3 months. It could go to the start of training camp. How fast do you think something gets done, whether Suns or elsewhere, when it comes to the KD deal?
I think he's just not going to sit still long enough for this to go on that long. The second you start seeing pictures with him and Book, like, out, and, like, him with other players, like, hanging out and stuff, I think that's when it's going to put a lot of pressure on Brooklyn to finally make a move.
Yeah, I think this weekend. I'm going to guess with Summer League, with the eyes on the basketball world, GMs meeting in person, those kind of things, I think we hear some kind of shift. It may not be done this weekend, but I think we hear they're getting closer to a framework, or there's movement in terms of getting closer, closing that gap between we want 14 All-Stars in every pick that the universe has to we've got a parameter that we can actually work within, and maybe they got to find a third team. But I think that we're getting closer. So
I just think James Jones knew about this a week before KD even asked for the trade. So I don't think I think Brooklyn really thought that there was going to be a lot more people that wanted in on this than he thought. But I think having a weak head start was really just going to help the Suns.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Hey, remember, if KD is traded to the Suns, Saul Bookman's going to buy you beer. He said he will buy a round for everyone out at the Four Peaks in Tempe. We'll actually be out there tonight for the NHL draft party. Myself, the mustache behind the Mac, Shane Diefenbach. We will be out there before we hop on a 10:30 p.m. flight to Vegas for Summer League. We'll be helping run the NHL draft show tonight. Come out, say hi. Maybe I'll even buy you a beer if you come out tonight with or without KD in a Suns uniform. So join us, Four Peaks, some of the best beer that there is in the Valley. You much of a Four Peaks guy?
Oh, yeah.
I should have asked beforehand.
No, you're good.
I put you in a tough spot.
I've dabbled from time to time, yeah. I think we do our fantasy draft there sometimes. Nice. So, yeah, it's a cool spot.
Well, I'll have you out there one of these times. We'll get you a beer as well. Speaking of a guy who might be going out, Deandre Ayton might be leaving Phoenix. We've been prepared for him no longer to be a member of the Phoenix Suns, but there was a tweet last night from John Gambadoro over at Arizona Sports, a friend of the program, who said we might see movement as early as today when it comes to DeAndre Ayton, that he's hearing Indiana is willing to give him an offer sheet. Sounded like it would be probably the max or very, very close. It's the first movement we've heard in terms of DeAndre Ayton outside of the, Utah might be interested. Yeah. This is the first solid thing we've heard. What are your thoughts? If it is Indiana and DA wants to go there, you look at that roster, do you think sign and trade? Do you think this is a situation where they're going to have to match? Where do you land on DeAndre Ayton?
I think it's going to be a signing trade. I think that we've all been pretty clear, he's been pretty clear that he doesn't want to come back, and matching and then doing a whole other year of this with this team, like, I just don't think he wants to waste a year of his career knowing he's going to leave anyway. So I just think for everybody, just doing a sign and trade would just be the smarter decision.
Yeah, and if it is Indiana with a sign and trade, it likely has to center around Miles Turner, which I don't know that that's the solution here in Phoenix. Sure, it's a stopgap at center, or if you want to play him at power forward, wherever you land when it comes to Miles Turner. But I feel like you have to have an idea that the Nets might be interested in Miles Turner if you go down this path, because he could qualify as that marginal all-star in a deal here, and has salary that could help you get to that KD number. I'm not quite comfortable with that being all you get, like, because you're at a point where if you do a sign and trade with DA, you have to be prepared to keep what you get back if KD doesn't materialize. I'm not sure Miles Turner gets it done for me.
Yeah, I really don't know what gets it done for KD now, because the Nets seem like they want a lot of stuff that they're really not going to get from anybody. But I was dreaming small before this KD thing came up, so I was down with the Miles Turner sign and trade like weeks ago, and then KD blew up my thoughts, and now I'm dreaming way bigger. But I think that if that's like the best offer they can get, I think they'll take Miles Turner and pretty much all of our picks to the next Olympics.
Do you think if you have to keep Miles Turner in Phoenix, does that help you get to your goal? Or, I mean, I almost feel like it's a slight step back when you're looking at it, which then you're talking about dreaming big. Then it turns into a big nightmare at that point. If, hey, we went from KD, we're shopping, custom, to, hey, we got target Miles Turner, you're like, I don't know how I feel at that point. Like, are you concerned that we could wind up in this space where all this hype about KD, and then you're just sitting there with no DeAndre Ayton, you got Miles Turner now, and you're not really closer?
Yeah, as a Suns fan, I'm like extremely worried about this scenario. And yeah, I just think it's really KD or bust. And I think there is a really big chance, like, it's in all of our heads, that we're going to Suns this up. And it's just going to be one of those stories that we're telling like 10 years from now about that one time we could have got KD. But I really do think like our chances are high of pulling this off.
We will see. If the Ayton thing happens, like Gambo said as early as today, that may shake things loose in other areas. It would be the first really big domino to fall in free agency. Everything's felt like it's been in a holding pattern, maybe that changes things. Maybe at that point, other teams are like, all right, now it's time to figure out if we're going to make a different trade. Maybe the Nets finally back off. I don't know, but something needs to give because I can't take more weeks of whatever the hell this is. It's like being stuck in quicksand right now, and I can't handle it.
Yeah, the worst part was like when it was announced and they were like the Suns are at the top of the list. Like in my head, it was like this is gonna be done by Friday, and then like I did the whole weekend vacation, like staring at my phone, thinking it was just gonna happen any moment. And now it's just like kind of just we're all just stuck and like waiting for like this bell to ring and get this big notification that we can all go crazy about, whether it's sad or happy. And it's just like the waiting is the worst part.
Do you feel anytime you get a Woj notification, like this wave of excitement and fear, and then you click on it and it's just total disappointment? Like, I don't care that so-and-so got a $19 million deal with the San Antonio Spurs. Tell me what I want to know, Woj. Tell me what I want to know, Shams.
Yeah, it's like the second, like, I think we were at dinner and like I saw it was like the Nets, and then I was like, and then it was like the Nets got another bench dude. And I was like, what the? And it was just so bad. I was just like, so it's all these highs and lows whenever you get one. I think Sham is going to break it first, honestly. But it's been killing me getting these notifications.
Yeah. I love the Nets, and then it's signed TJ Warren. I'm like, I don't care. I haven't cared about TJ Warren in 4 years. Anyway, you know what I think we all need though? Some OGs, because my anxiety is through the roof, and I don't know if you partake, but I'm a fan of OGs and the sativa. It gives me a nice calm. I use that a lot. It helps me in these anxious times, and I have a feeling we're going to be in anxious times for a while, whether it's basketball or other places in this world. And I love that OGs helps be calm. They just launched their first ever limited seasonal flavor. It's pina colada. No, I can't say it like Lindsay. I'm sorry. A perfect pineapple and creamy coconut blend. Make sure to check out OGs online at ogsbrands.com and on Instagram at OGs. You can also find their products at your local dispensary. Remember, you must be 21 years of age or older to purchase. So we've talked KD, we've talked Ayton. There's one other big name we need to get to. And while KD's been dark, Booker's been making moves. Devin Booker last night signed his Supermax deal with the Phoenix Suns. It is official. The man is here for basically the rest of his life, I believe, is where we're at, or at least the rest of his prime. And now here through 2027. A very big deal for him. You could tell that this was one of those life-changing moments. Sure, he had signed the big contract before, but this was I have generational wealth. I've almost made $500 million now putting my signature on this. I've accomplished something. He was surrounded by family, friends, his agent, and Robert Sarver, so be it. So what's your take on the Supermax being signed by Booker and looking at it? What does it mean and signify for this franchise?
We see how many players move around and go to different places, and especially players that didn't even start off as dark as he did. Like he dealt with some really bad teams. I guess you could like say Beal or somebody, but even Bill like had a couple good times before it all fell apart. I think that just the fact that he stayed and stuck it through and it all worked out for him, like I was just really happy for him. Like it's really hard to go through some of the seasons that he went through and want to stay in a place. And he did all that and got the money for doing it.
Well, and he's been very clear from the very first days that he was out there with the team back when I was working there that he loves this town, that he's dedicated to building something here. And we talked about it yesterday on the show, but from day one, this guy was built different. Yeah. He was a guy that you looked at and you went, something special's going to happen here. Now, I didn't expect it to the level he's gone, and let's be honest, he's on the doorstep of being the greatest Sun of all time, and I'm pretty sure it has already become the highest paid Sun ever with all the money he's made from the franchise. But man, seeing the fulfillment of it and knowing that guys like CB3 and now KD want to play with him, it's back to what you said. Is this really the Phoenix Suns?
Yeah.
Is this my team? Is this a team I've rooted for all these years? I love what we're seeing from Book.
Yeah, I've always liked him, but like even before he got here, I just knew him as that dude that the Holiday Twins started over, and the dude who I thought should have got more burn. Like, and he's just worked through all that. He worked through coming off the bench for Kentucky, for playing on terrible Suns teams, dealing with terrible coaches, and he's finally getting what he worked for.
Yeah, and another thing that he got today, we had heard he was going to be the cover guy for NBA 2K23. We saw a leaked image, but now we know officially that this is going to be the cover of NBA 2K13 as they dropped this today. This is actually, so this is the deluxe edition cover. There's 2 book covers. This is the main one, the purple sunset, kind of up looking up at him, and then there's a second one with more cacti and kind of the blue sky there with Devin in the purple. These were released today. They released a hype video for it, which was really cool. Kind of walked you through Devin's career here in Phoenix. I am surprisingly pumped by all this today. Like, I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
And then you see these covers, you find out that Devin Booker's the first guy that they've ever taken actual photos of, done a photo shoot for the cover. Like, they rolled out the red carpet for Devin Booker. Ronnie 2K and the whole group over there obviously know that Devin's the real deal here.
Yeah, I love all of this, and I gotta admit, the reason I love it is because how much so many people hate it. Like, the people that hate it have been making me so happy. Like, I'm sorry, like, Devin Booker earned this, and this is his time now. Like, and it's just been hilarious seeing how much it just has made people mad. My 2K days have been over for a while, but just him making the cover kind of makes me want to go back.
Yeah, I never had any 2K days. I've always sucked. I was more of an NBA Jam days kind of guy. But this is, as Josh in the comments says, it's the greatest video game artwork I think we've ever seen. Like it feels like art, where sometimes it's felt rushed or I hate to say lazy. I don't want to judge anybody, but sometimes it just feels like, hey, we cut out this general photo of the guy and slapped it on the box with a background on it. This was well thought out and conceived.
Yeah, I think like the fact that we finally got the Devin Booker cover and it just didn't look like it was done in like a Photoshop college class, like it all just like came together and it felt like we got the good one because we kind of deserved it.
I want these as posters. I want those 2 Devin Bookers and the DT Sue Bird. I want to hang them up in the offices because they are a piece of art. But we have a few other covers. Devin Booker is not the only son to ever be on the cover of a video game. Let's take a look back at some of the previous ones, starting with Charles Barkley. 1993, I believe this was. Barkley, Shut Up and Jam. I actually really like this coverage. Barkley going up for a dunk, or at least it appears that way. He's probably standing on the ground with a photographer above him, but I liked this one. Also, I think this is an underrated video game. What do you think of the cover, and do you remember playing this game at all?
I feel like I skipped over the Sega Sports area, and I went straight to like Nintendo Sports. But I do remember the cover. I remember Charles Barkley. I think we had just moved out here. So, yeah, it was a really big deal because Charles Barkley got traded to the Suns like within the first couple of weeks. I moved to Arizona, so it all just came together.
Yeah, you and I are around the same age, I think, and that one was kind of the NBA Jam, but on the street. They're like, oh, we can capitalize on this 2-on-2 craze. We'll try it. But I'm a Barkley nerd, so I love that one. 2 others, both featuring Amari Stoudemire in the NBA. 06 was the first one. I don't remember this video game.
I think I remember it, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like if Amari was on it, especially back then, that was like beginning of peak video game Aaron. I think I would have remembered it a lot better.
I feel like this was the bastard cousin of NBA Live and NBA 2K.
Yeah.
And they're like, this was like oh yeah, we have this license too. Let's throw some shit together. So it's actually kind of a cool cover of Amari going up for a dunk, and some photos of him in the background. But yeah, this again is the, hey, we made a cool phone wallpaper version of a video game cover. And then the last one, Amari again, NBA 08. This one's lazy, and the look on Amari's face is even like, what the hell am I doing on this thing? He's got this snarl on his face, and this is after he had moved to the number 1 with the ugliest Phoenix jerseys of all time.
I'm glad you said it.
the Home Depot apron of NBA jerseys, the orange one from that era. Those last two felt pretty lazy.
Yeah, like the jerseys that I hate the most, like I think that I've never seen anybody just walking around in that one. And that's all you need to say about it is that cover with that Amari and that jersey, it was just all just terrible.
The 2006 one looks like instead of Amari, it's Quentin Richardson right here, but they put a 2 next to the 3.
It really does.
It does look like you.
It really does look like you. Like, oh crap, we put the wrong guy. Just slap the 2 and hope nobody notices. Yeah, I have met people that think that the 7 seconds or less jerseys are the best jerseys in Suns history. And then I go, did you fall on your head as a child? And they said, no. And I said, did you grow up as the 7 seconds or less the first Suns team you loved? And they said, yes. And I go, that's why. It had to do with the basketball and not those ugly-ass uniforms there. So
yeah, I stand by it. If the 7 seconds or less Suns had the old Jason Kidd jerseys, they win a championship.
The sunburn, like they're like, look, we look better. We're cooler this way. You know what? Though that's good because Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and maybe Kevin Durant will be wearing the purple sunburst jerseys this season. So hopefully we've got a championship parade just because of the uniforms. I love the way
look good, play good.
You're thinking there. It's time for screenshots brought to the air. Man, let me try that again. I'm not used to hosting with Lindsay taking the wheel so often. It's time for screenshots brought to you by the Arizona Department of Health Services. It's time to get your COVID-19 vaccines. They're free for everyone 5 and older. Those 12 and older are also now eligible for a booster. Visit azhealth.gov/findvaccine for a location near you. And we're headed out to Summer League, so you know we're vaxxed and ready to have some fun out there in Las Vegas. But let's take a look at our screenshot. Shane, I'm going to let you play Russian roulette with the screenshots and just throw whatever you want up, and we'll react to them. The first one coming to us is Devin Booker signing a 6-year extension with Nike. Will keep him with the brand till 2029. I'm guessing we're also going to see a signature Devin Booker shoe as part of this. Aaron, what's your take on D-Book staying with Nike?
Name your price, drop his signature shoe so I can spend some money. I've been wanting to do this for years now, and it's about time. I know he probably wanted to stay there, and they had to promise him at some point. And now he's Supermax Book. Like, it just makes sense to finally get one for him.
Yeah, I think so too. After coming off the 4th place finish in MVP voting with Kobe's estate agreeing to go back to Nike, which he loves wearing the Kobe's as well from time to time. It just felt like this is his home from a shoe place. Also, where the hell else are you going right now? Like New Balance, really? Devin Booker ain't wearing New Balance. He's not. He's not a 45-year-old man or our producer of this show.
Come on now.
I like those though.
Yeah, I know. Shane can rock it, but Devin Booker in New Balance just feels uncomfortable, right?
Nah, he'll get like Cortez's before New Balance.
He'll sign one of those Chinese deals before he signs with New Balance. But yeah, he's with Nike, so we're gonna see it. But the interesting thing, you know what the website that broke this story was?
I do. But you can do it. This is your show.
Boardroom, right?
Yeah.
Who owns that? You roll with that.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think that was a coincidence that was who had the exclusive on that. It all comes back to KD, especially right now. So I'm happy for him. I can't wait to see the shoes. I don't buy a lot of basketball shoes because I'm fat, unathletic, and pushing 40, so I don't usually look good in them. But I will put some money down on Book shoes. The other thing, he's going to have some lifestyle brand stuff that he's going to do there too. So I'm sure we're going to see some cool collabs between.
Yeah,
Nike
I'm down to wear a giant button-up shirt or something like. I'm sure it's going to be something like that. But yeah, I'm down for it.
Yeah, it'll be the closest I ever get to buying something cool because Book's tied to it. Let's move on to our next screenshot today. Oh, this is great. From NBA Paint, they put out their own version of the NBA 2K23 cover. It was the same background, but they put their D book, which is actually a book with the letter D on it and Suns on the spine on the cover. I'd rock this as a shirt or a poster as well.
Oh, definitely a poster. Actually, I have part of this poster already. I have the D book from NBA Paint. My girlfriend bought it for me, and it's hanging up in the house. So I already have most of that already, and I'm down to just have another one around the house.
I love that these guys were just like, we're going to draw really shitty paint versions that are puns, and it's become huge because it fits totally my vibe and things and my sense of humor. Like, I almost bought the Frank the Tank shirt just to rock and all these. I love that they found a way to make a whole industry out of this, and I loved that cover today. Next one on the screenshots. Oh, this goes back to 2K and book. It's a book day here on the show. In the hype video announcing the Booker cover, like I said, they kind of went through his career, but what popped up in it was the baby fist bump. And they did a cool little art version of the child, I'm sure, because, you know, there's all rules about how you put kids in commercials or whatever. But an awesome fist bump with Book. Now, I know some people might be upset with this because they claimed this is where Devin Booker's powers were stolen from him. I personally love it. How do you feel about
I still love it. I still remember that night very vividly and just how high, like, he ended that half and we were like, oh, yeah, the series is done. And then he doesn't come back. So I just remember that part. But this part of the game was all pure excitement. It was fun on Twitter, and it's just really good to see.
I was pissed off because we had a shirt ready. We're like, this is going to be the moment of these playoffs. And then like 5 minutes later, he's injured and he's out. And we're like, well, there goes that. This has become infamous. And then we did a real creepy. We interviewed the baby after in the post game. It did not go well. That was creepier than the actual fist bump itself. Anyway, that whole night went off the rails here on the program.
Yeah, getting a baby to do anything you want just seems insane to try on the spot.
Yeah, we just green screened it and had Shane put his lips and eyes on a baby and making baby noises. It was pretty awful.
Oh, God.
It was terrifying. Let's be honest.
The baby had a mustache.
The baby did have a mustache. It was good in theory and horrible in practice, which I'm sure on All Caps NBA you have some of those things too, right?
It sounds like things that's good on paper. It's like, no, we'll get sued.
I think we knew exactly what we were doing. I don't think we thought, oh, this is a great idea.
No, but we thought the execution could be funny, and really we just left people with nightmares after they were despondent that Devin Booker was injured. So I guess we did our job. That's what we're here for. The last one on screenshots today. So not our friend. I don't know why I said that. It's Skip Bayless shooting his mouth off on Uninterrupted on FS1 said, oh yeah, KD back to the Nets is the thing that makes the most sense. Kevin Durant's brother, I responded in the comments on Instagram to this, basically saying F all the way off in that sentiment, both the opinion and Skip Bayless. And this leads me to believe, because we're all internet sleuths right now, that Kevin Durant is not going back to the Nets. Actually, that may have been KD using his brother's account just to get at Skip. This made me feel a little bit more confident that the Phoenix Suns could be the destination. I was at 51% tomorrow. This pushed me to 51.5%.
I'm a little higher just because I think if Sean Marks is as smart as I think he is, never do anything that Skip Bayless tells you to do. Like, just do the opposite of that. You don't want to be on the side of Skip Bayless. So I just think, if anything, Skip Bayless helped him become a Sun even more. Yeah,
that should be the rule of every GM in sports or anybody in sports. If Skip Bayless says it, do the opposite. Jerry Jones listens to him a lot. That's why the Cowboys have struggled so mightily. So that is Screenshots, brought to you by the Arizona Department of Health Services. A lot going on this summer. So make sure you are vaxxed and relaxed. COVID-19 vaccines are free for everyone 5 and older. Those 12 and older are also now eligible for boosters. Visit azhealth.gov/find-vaccine for a location near you. I think I've driven us into a ditch. I think that's all we had. But Shane, do you have a special special producer surprise for our guest Aaron to indoctrinate him into the craziness that is this show?
Yes, I do. So speaking of all of the cover stuff with NBA 2K, we talked about this a little on Sun Devil, but we didn't talk about this topic. if you were on the cover of a video game, but it's for a mundane task you do every day, what would the video game be called?
A mundane task.
Like mine would probably be like sitting down in the shower simulator.
That just sounds depressing. Like, do you get bonus points for crying that game?
I just like to relax. Like right now, I have a sunburn, so it's good to just avoid the water at the high heat.
Oh, now I imagined what that cover would look like, and that
that
is horrible. I think I'd be on the cover of Annoying My Wife 23. It would be a simulator on how to annoy your wife. I don't do it purposefully. I just inadvertently do it.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably the mundane task that I'd get a 99 rating for and would deserve to be on the cover of.
I think mine would be I let this trash bag get too heavy and now I have to walk really far.
Oh, I want to play that game. That sounds like a great 8-bit game where you got to carry this overfilled trash bag to the garbage can, kind of Paperboy style. You got to avoid everything.
It's like, this one's a little too heavy. I kind of got too close to the sun that time.
By the way, did I miss something?
You didn't see that?
I did not see that. Shane, please let me know what the hell happened
So
here.
Saul responded to like the haul that the Nets are expected, one of the fake whatever. I think it was another Fisher report saying that they wouldn't take anything less than, Cam, McHale, blah, blah, blah.
The Grand Canyon.
And Saul was like, I wouldn't do this for a 34-year-old. And Chad Johnson Jr. responded and said, this is one of the worst takes yet. So we thought that was hilarious. Shout out ASU.
So Chad Johnson Jr. ripping on Saul Bookman. I don't know what side to take on that. Like, I usually like people dunking on Saul, but I think I'm going to take Saul's side here. The lineage there with Chad Johnson Jr., I'm going to go Saul on this. I'm backing my man. Where do you stand? Would you agree with Chad Johnson Jr. saying that this is a horrible take, or do you back Saul Bookman, a man you've met once and seen on this program from time to time?
I'm definitely backing Saul. Like,
smart
yeah,
man.
there's no way around that, and it is a stupid trade, and I agree with it.
All right, I reverse. I'm on Chad Johnson Jr.'s side. Now, Shane, you didn't weigh in. Who you agreeing with?
It's ASU, baby. Come on now.
That's
Is that a good thing or bad thing right now?
Oh, it's always a great time to be a Sun Devil.
Yeah, that's not true.
Herm Edwards is going to be on the cover of NCAA Football 2023.
I think you could have been on the cover of Walk of Shame 2016. Would that have been your ASU time?
Well, it was probably the year where I had to withdraw from every single one of my courses. So yeah, 2017 sounds right. That is a real thing.
Oh no.
That is a story for another time. But if you want to bet on anything Shane Diefenbach, you can go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app.
Can't.
Yes, you can. I'm calling in. I'm asking for odds on anything Shane does in Vegas. Like, do you think Shane is so drunk that he can't hold a camera based on his hangover starting on Saturday? That's a minus 150 over the DraftKings Sportsbook app. But look, there's a lot that you can bet on right now, including Summer League basketball. If you really want to have no clue what's going to happen,
you got to be down bad.
You got to just be like, hey man, I need some action. I'm betting on these guys I've never heard of on a summer league roster. It is. You are, my friend. Download that DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use that promo code PHNX. Make your first deposit and get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Yeah, you heard that right. A risk-free bet up to $1,000. You know how much you could do in a same-game parlay for an NBA Summer League game with a $1,000 bet? A lot, but you're not likely going to hit it. Use that promo code PHNX only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
Magic money line today.
Magic money line in Summer League. God, Shane. We're going to have one of them interventions at some point if we keep betting on Summer League basketball like that. I got to ask, if you had to put money down on KD getting done this weekend, would you put money in favor or against?
I did my in favor last weekend. I'm going to have to go against.
Yes. All right. Well, you made me feel good because now I have something to look forward to in Vegas. Maybe you're the jinx there that gets it gets it done. We will actually be out in Vegas. Saul, Lindsay, Gerald, they're all on the road right now because those suckers had to drive to Vegas. Shane and I get that sweet, sweet Southwest Airlines flight this evening, but we will be there live tomorrow. Talking Summer League. Suns have a game tomorrow night. We'll do a show after that, I believe. I think that's when we'll do it. We'll keep you updated on Twitter. Make sure to follow the show at PHNX_Suns. Aaron, anything you want to promote? As a guest, I'm going to let you promote anything you'd like.
This is the first time I have nothing to promote. I'm just kicking it and just enjoying the summer right now. Follow me, Aaron Ed. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Also, go back and watch some of the old All Caps NBA.
Yeah, what are those?
This man, a quality. They say Jason Concepcion's the star of that show. That's what I like to call bullshit. It's this man right here. Go enjoy him on there, and he does stand up too. So if you're ever seeing his name on the docket, go check it out. I highly recommend it. I'd shout out Lindsay, Saul, and Gerald, but they're not here, so they're not getting their Twitter shout out. Follow me at Espo, and remember, if you're going to Vegas, don't follow Shane's advice, all right? Ahoy, hoy.
Yo, my lifestyle is retro. Tell the Phoenix Metro. Megas in control and he ain't never gonna let go. PHNX though. Lindsay, Gerald, Espo. Saw past the ball, we here to turn up the tempo. Got to understand me, I'll always wreck the family. Rally in the valley like Dan G, no plan B. Always on the job, my team move like the mob.